guys, it's Natalie with energyhill, and welcome back to Creative Energy. I'm here with Amber, our digital marketing lead, and we're going to be talking about AI and machine learning in marketing today. We have a lot of fun topics to address.
I'm excited.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, I guess, and what you do at energyhill?
Yes, gladly. So I'm the digital marketing lead. Basically, I kind of do a little bit of different things day to day, but I mainly work with the content team, work with and alongside, and basically we kind of just do everything from social media marketing to email campaigns and the likes.
Yeah, so basically I think there's been a lot of talk about like all the AI stuff that's coming out, everything from like ChatGPT to like...
Oh, yeah.
You know, just everything. Like robots are taking over, I guess, and
Terminator.
People are scared, and they're like, "You're not gonna have a job anymore as a designer, as a marketer."
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like a doomsday way of looking at it.
I can see that. Yeah.
So what we're gonna talk about today is how you can use maybe like AI tools to your advantage, you know, and how maybe like small businesses can think about AI as they move forward when they're choosing marketing agencies. Mm-hmm. So let's start off with some common misconceptions about digital marketing. The first one is that a lot of people say like email marketing is dead, like nobody reads emails anymore, or like it's not worth it. And I don't know, what do you think about that statement, I guess?
I feel like it can be a little bit 50-50. Because I'm the type that also has like a junk email.
I think most people do.
I was like, I feel like most people do, but
yeah.
I feel like I have a junk email, and then of course I have like more of like a professional email, maybe where I like do bills and sort of stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays with email marketing, yeah, a lot of people I would say give a lot of pushback. They're like, oh, I get flooded and spammed with emails. Mm-hmm. But honestly, the more creative they are, the more engaging and eye-catching they are, at least specifically for me. Like I have tons of junk emails, ranging from like retail to back in my college days, honestly, a little bit of everything. But they managed to really hook you in, and then in that subject line, and then just kind of clicking on it, I'm like, wow, okay, that was actually really good. But then sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I like toss it in the bin. But I definitely feel like there is a lot of avenues that you could go with email marketing. You can kind of make it more automated, which I think has been really beneficial for a lot of big corporations, in the sense that, you know, if you're shopping, they notice that you leave your cart kind of like
and then they,
full
like,
of stuff, and then it like
about it.
Yeah, and then it kind of suckers you in to be like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that, or like, oh, I've been meaning to buy that. But then like I feel like in a way it gets that like subtle little like bug in the back of your mind where you're kind of like, I'm gonna buy that, and then you end up saving it. So, or you just end up purchasing it, and I think that's really cool. But I can't obviously say that for everyone. But you know, I love shopping.
It's very
online,
much alive.
So yeah, definitely
that's
for
basically,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly it's like, from the stat that I read, it's 40 times more effective than Facebook and Twitter in generating revenue.
Oh,
which makes sense. I mean, when you're on Facebook and Twitter, you're competing for attention so much more than when you're on in their email, and you're just like, you're just talking to them, as opposed to, you know, social media is like...
I also feel like, too, when I'm casually just scrolling through any sort of social media, I feel like it's kind of also easy to overlook, at least personally for me, because you're kind of just scrolling, and then you're just like, you know, seeing something about puppies, and you're seeing something about a friend posting something, and then it just kind of just like, it pops up, but then it's just kind of so easy to just overlook. Yeah. I feel like, and just personally, and just keep scrolling.
Right.
But I feel like with emails, it's a kind of way to kind of tease you a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like that subject headline, it's like, hey, with emojis, or hey, like, I feel like you can be a little bit more...
Or sometimes they trick you, and they're like, hey, we noticed like something...
Yeah,
like
or
it's like cryptic or weird, and you're like...
what is that? And then it's also a mixture of like, am I
there?
getting spammed? Is someone trying to like, you know, kind of sucker me or something?
Yeah. It's very true.
But no, I definitely feel like with... Going back to email marketing, I feel like you can be a little bit unprofessional and fun with it, versus like if you were creating an ad for like Twitter or Facebook or something.
Right, that's very true.
Yeah.
Okay. Another misconception is a lot of businesses will hire like a person, like a marketing person that kind of does it all. I think it's pretty, like, it's hard to see how they don't realize that like one person can't do it all. Yeah. I mean, you can't be an expert at everything if you're just one person.
Also, too, I feel like just because someone can do it all doesn't mean they should.
Right. They're not doing it all 100%.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I mean, just us working in an agency day to day, specifically in content, like, it's a lot of moving pieces that a lot of people kind of overlook, at least like from previous conversations I've had with individuals. It's all like, you know, like they want that one man show person do it all, and it's just like, well, you know, from my experiences, that's not really the case.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have strong suits in everything. Like, you know, we have copy. I've been enjoying copywriting. Of course, having creative strategy meetings is always a blast, but like, I mean, you design stuff. I can't do that. Like,
when it's your job, like 100% of the time, then it's just that's your focus.
I can give you a
that's
beautiful sticky note drawing and be like, here, can you make this happen?
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice also to work with just so many different talented people. There's so many different dynamics, and I feel like we can easily bounce off different individuals, and that I learned something from you learned something from the rest of the team, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
But no, I couldn't. If someone was like, hey, can you do this, and I would just probably like, haha, no.
even influencers sometimes will have like entire teams of, you know, video guy, a design person, you know. Yeah. And that's just one influencer, you know, like, I mean, nowadays I do think that influencers have blown up to the point where like they need a whole team. Yeah. But, you know, I think if you're not going to hire an agency, I think you should at least go with a team. You can't just... Definitely. Unless you're like super small. Definitely. To where like all you need is like, you know, social posting, and even so, I think you would still need a team, because there's Google My Business, there's like reviews, like there's so much more that I think it would be too much for one.
And then also too, I just think of video editing and animations are not as straightforward as people think. I mean, because there's Canva. I mean, Canva's kind of really popular.
Canva is the bane of my existence.
I mean, just because I can't design, I like Canva. but I realize that there's just a lot of more moving pieces that go into what you do specifically, because sometimes I'll have an idea that I'm like, oh, I want to do this in Canva. I cannot do that. Right. There's some restrictions, like you can't edit certain, you know, graphics or GIFs or whatever people call it, or just it's very limited. But like, if you're just starting out, I feel like it's good for startups or people just trying to get their feet wet. But if you really want to take it to that next level, I think that's where an agency comes into place.
Definitely. So, by the way, if you guys hear shouting and banging, there's nothing crazy going on. It's just a karate place next door. I just wanted to say that because it might come out.
I was trying to ignore and just like smile and wave, just smile and wave.
It's loud for us, but I don't know if it'll be heard. So the next thing is, some people say like digital marketing is just social media.
I can see where the misconception gets a little
mostly
cloudy. I think when I first started getting into the field, because for those that you don't know, my background is nothing in marketing or business related. It is actually in biology, ironically enough. But I think just digital marketing, I just think of like a digital space, and that can include blogging, that can include SEO, that can include any sort of content that's reel-based, video-based. It's literally anything digital where you can kind of, I feel like, tell your story in a sense. And, but yeah, I would say, I mean, when you think about it, social media is just so big. It's always evolving. What's going to be viral next? What's going to be trendy next? So a lot of people kind of really push that out there, but I don't think that everyone necessarily needs it, because I feel like it's really important to distribute kind of relatable content that's valuable, but also makes you personable too. Yeah. So I can see where social media comes into that, but it's not just that. It involves email campaigning, and like I said, it involves blogging, any sort of digital any sort of content, like even Pinterest for an example, I feel like is a form of marketing.
Like, despite, you know, how easily companies are able to like become personable now, like online and on social and stuff, people still, like, word of mouth still trumps everything. Like, there was like a stat by Nielsen that was like 92% of consumers trust recommendations from friends and family over all forms of advertising, which is, I think that's kind of obvious, and I just wonder if that will ever change, because the people that we know and that we talk to are instantly like, if somebody tells me this thing is great, you should buy it, I'm probably gonna go buy it. Yeah, like, exactly. As an impulse buyer. Exactly. I mean, and that's just always gonna be better than. Yeah. I mean, most of our clients have like word of mouth is huge. For them. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, you know, invest in digital marketing. You still need to have that presence, but
and even though it's not necessarily like having a conversation with someone you're really close with, but I feel like Google reviews.
No, yeah, they're huge.
Are just the first thing you look at. It's like literally the exact first thing that I look at And then it's just so easy to just scroll through and just
I
kind of
scroll
get a
past
quick
the 5
overview.
stars and I go to the 1 stars
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are the angry
Yeah,
people
or
saying?
sometimes even I'll filter it too and just be like the lowest review. Like I just want to see, because I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, a lot of people will still kind of hype up a place, give it good reviews, but a lot of people are much quicker to say something
Pictures
negative.
are huge too. I look at the
pictures are huge. Oh my gosh, yes.
And I look at the responses of the company. If the company is like coming off kind of, you know, with an attitude or something, I'm like, it kind of just like taints your image a little bit. So
and it's
that's
really
big.
interesting because there's really no filter. Like, ironically enough, I saw this TikTok the other day, and this guy was doing like this comedic skit about Google reviews, and he did one for I think it was not the Grand Canyon. It was like Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower, and just some people were just so funny because they were just like, I'm trying to think of an example. It was like something about they didn't like the color of the Statue of Liberty, or like it was really cloudy one day. And it's just so interesting because it's like, where do you filter out those bad ones kind of like that versus like ones that were just like, I don't know, they're just customer service or something was really poor.
You mean
or
like the Karens versus
like their overall like not user experience, their overall experience of like the whole
it is user experience. I
yeah,
mean,
okay.
Essentially,
I can see that, yeah. But no, it's kind of interesting how, you know, because it's easy. You can flip through past those 5 stars, and then you see those 1 or 2 stars, and it's just like,
but is
tell, that relevant?
Yeah,
you know?
You can tell when it's like, oh, this is a Karen. You know, she's like, they just didn't get back to me in less than 5 minutes, and you can just tell when people are just complaining for no reason.
No, it's
usually
it's
hilarious. So the next one is some people say like that they can just create their website for themselves, you know, DIY website builders, Squarespace. They want to probably save money, and they want to just get it done, just to like have a website, and so they just like kind of DIY it. As far as like content and SEO, how do you think this affects them? Like,
well, if they don't really have any strong SEO, they're not going to really rank
right
in Google, and Google's like the best like search engine out there. I mean, I know Bing was once upon a time in Microsoft, but like at the end of the day, the powerhouse is Google. I use Google for everything. I use Google, like we were just talking about Google reviews. Google just plays such an important role in like the World Wide Web. And when it comes to website designing, DIYing, it's just me alone. I'm like, no, like it's out of my comfort zone. I don't know anything about website design. It's kind of getting off topic for a second, but I used to do photography in college where I would take grad shoots, and I put together my own janky website. It's terrible, and I thought I could do it myself because I was just trying to push something out there. But like,
you know what? I think a good Facebook page, like a solid Facebook page, or a good like Google business profile with like a lot of ratings is
definitely
almost better than a website.
Yeah.
Like, because if you have a clunky website that you can't even view on your phone, people like at least for me as a user, I'm like, I'll just go to their Facebook because that's where all the information is. That's where it's like, where do I book? How do I do this? It's just, if you're gonna do a website, I guess do it right.
Yeah.
You know?
And then also with you, kind of what you do and the whole user experience and just like website mock-ups and all that, mama jamma. I know you look at it, I feel like you look at it differently from being in this space, and kind of like if you're looking for something, I don't know, just a store or whatever, and just seeing that difference in like a mobile view versus like an actual website view on a laptop, I feel like you kind of look at it much differently. I know because in my field I look at things a lot differently, like URLs and ads. I look at it, and my opinion of it is skewed now because like now I know kind of what goes on the backside. And I forgot where I was going with this.
No, I mean, I think I definitely have a different viewpoint when sometimes, you know, I'll be on a website that's like obviously not optimized for mobile, and it's like certain things don't work, and like I kind of know where to click to get to the place I'm trying to go, or like, but I think I'm like, a lot of people don't know how to do this. Like they don't know that you gotta, you know, do /about in the URL to see if an about page exists, like, and that's just gonna cause people to get frustrated and leave, basically. So, definitely. And not just that, but when you use the DIY builders, they don't usually give you the right tools so that you can optimize your website. So it doesn't really rank well,
Yeah,
you know, compared to
definitely.
like a custom or
Yeah.
a WordPress site.
For sure.
So that's just something to keep in mind, I guess. Okay, so now let's talk about, I guess, how AI is changing marketing. The term AI is a little bit misleading. This is something that Ryan and I talked about.
Yeah.
It really should be called machine learning. AI is kind of a
I like
buzzword
that.
because
Okay.
intelligence can't really be artificial. Like, it's really the machine is learning. That's really what's happening. It's
I
not
never really
so
thought
much
of it
that
like
intelligence is just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
created out of nothing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that's just kind of a buzzword that's been thrown around.
No, I like that.
But the AI market in the U.S. is expected to grow at a compound actual growth rate of about 50% throughout 2021. That was from TechNavio. So it's just been steadily just kind of like, you know, there are companies that are already using AI to, you know, personalize their marketing messages. Like Amazon is using AI-powered recommendation algorithms to suggest products to customers based on their browsing and purchase history. Spotify uses machine learning to personalize your music recommendations.
Ooh, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah,
I love it.
And honestly,
I actually
that's
really
what
like it.
That's what I'm not mad about, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I need new music.
No, it is so nice.
It's creepy, but
It's a little
I
creepy.
like it.
It is a little creepy for sure, but it's definitely it's so nice. I can't rave about it enough.
So that's one case where it's like, okay, maybe this is nice here, because you want it to give you more recommendations.
Yeah, definitely.
Coca-Cola has used like chatbots. A lot of companies have done the chatbots that engage with customers.
I hate the chatbots.
On social media, like Facebook Messenger.
Do you like the chatbots?
I hate the chatbots.
I hate the chatbots.
I think most people don't like the chatbots.
It also reminds me of like the automated voicemails.
Right.
I despise those things.
Yeah, it's just they're not personal. Like, you can't
No.
talk to it. You feel like you get frustrated quicker.
Or like if you don't say it within a specific set of words, then it can't like filter it or kind of send you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And then I feel like at the end of just like yelling at it, I'm like, no, just get me in touch
'Cause you
with
want it
customer
quick.
service.
If you're a robot, then you should do it quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna. And if you ask me to
Definitely.
provide things more than once, then I'm gonna get mad.
No, yeah.
So some of the pros are, AI algorithms can analyze data faster and more accurately. It can predict like customer behaviors, which is, beneficial. It can enhance overall customer experience. This is one thing that we just talked about, like the chatbots and the virtual assistants. It says that that can enhance the customer experience. I don't think necessarily it will, or it has.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe in years to come, because I feel like we're still. I mean, if you think about it, the internet was just around not that long ago. I feel like where it really just skyrocketed and took off. I feel like maybe down the road, but currently no.
Yeah.
If anything, it aggravates me. But I definitely it would be nice, but I feel like nothing will compare to having that.
Human interaction.
That human interaction.
Because you're always like, my question is the exception. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just get a quick response type of thing.
Exactly.
But although there have been pros, there's also drawbacks. So, like, privacy is a big one.
Definitely.
I think people are most concerned about as consumers. You're starting to think about those terms and conditions more, and like,
yes,
especially after that Black Mirror episode that came out, you're just kind of like, what am I agreeing to here? Like,
I didn't see it. So
you didn't see it?
No,
I
couldn't get into Black Mirror, but I've definitely heard through the grapevine, kind of. I think you guys were just talking
about this
Is
girl
it from
who
this
basically
new,
like
this
accepts
new season?
Yeah, this girl basically accepts the terms and conditions to sign up for some, streaming platform that's like basically Netflix.
That's
and
weird.
so what they do is they took the rights to like her life basically, and she
That's weird.
they made a show about her, and she's
Ooh,
just
I
on.
don't like that.
Her whole life is just on the internet. Like, her phone listens to everything she says, and. Yeah, it was all because she just signed the terms and conditions without reading it, which
so
most people do.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I'm throwing it back a little bit. The Truman Show.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this necessarily is specifically he signed some terms and conditions of sort, but it just reminded me of that because everyone was watching him on TV, and then he was like, "What is happening?" And then eventually he found out the truth, and I was just like, "It's freaky. It's freaky."
And that stuff could fall into the wrong hands. Like, it could.
I trust no one.
Right, and
I trust no one on the internet.
Somebody needs to hold like the companies accountable to just be transparent about what they're collecting, because
for sure
nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it can make us too reliant on technology. It can make us even more antisocial than we're already becoming. So I guess
oh my gosh,
that's a drawback.
Definitely.
As far as like things to look out for in the future, one of the big ones is like voice search. So
Ooh, what's that?
companies voice search. So just when you're on Google or YouTube,
Oh,
and you just search.
yeah. Okay.
So companies need to like optimize their content ads for voice search.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I guess I don't know if you want to talk to that a little bit.
I wonder if, because I'm also thinking I've been guilty of doing the talk to text.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I mean, I never really thought about it. Not that I'm like saying anything horrid, but just kind of thinking about how they take that. I'm assuming they take that data in order to make Siri understand language.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Machine learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, it's kind of creepy, but it's like very beneficial if I'm like.
It is. I mean, some people might want to think about it. Yeah. They might want to think about if they have an app that, it requires you to search a lot, and they need to have that functionality, the voice search functionality. I don't personally use it. I honestly
I don't
will take
not
the
for
extra
searching.
seconds.
No,
yeah.
I prefer like on my phone I have like the is it haptic touch, where it kind of like when you're typing it kind of does that little like vibration thing.
Oh.
I think they brought it back. I don't think it was always like I enabled it on like my keyboard on like my phone or something, and it is like a haptic touch. I don't know. I really like it, so I'd rather just like type it myself.
I feel like it's like an older person thing. Yeah. Like the voice search. Yeah. It says that 36.6% of U.S. residents use voice assistants. Oh. And I mean, some of those people, it might be, a disabled
I was just about
reason,
to say that.
so.
I was thinking more of like the accessibility with
which is cool.
Feature. I think that's really
awesome.
But
then this one says 50% uses voice search features daily.
Interesting.
71% of consumers prefer to conduct queries by voice instead of typing. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet, but
I feel like by the time I speak it, I would have typed it already. So
that's the
maybe
thing,
I'm just
sometimes it doesn't understand you.
I'm just so fast at it. I just at the point I'm like, let me just type it out. I feel like the result or the instant search is just much better.
Exactly.
So, and sometimes they'll spell it wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, and I think you got to think about like what keywords are you using in your ads so that they are coming up when you use voice search and stuff like that. And then the other thing is augmented reality.
Oh goodness.
There was something that came out recently about I think it was what was that store? J. Crew.
I was just about to say J. Crew.
Yeah, they opened like a virtual store.
What?
Which I guess
like on their website, like what? Really? I'm trying to envision this right now because I didn't even know that was a thing.
So they opened like a.
And like you could do it through the website, or do you need like some of those?
For their 40th anniversary, they opened like a.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a virtual store that's styled after a beach house with 6 theme rooms and a separate boathouse. As shoppers visit each room, they can browse the brand's clothing, shoes, and accessories, and view historical context and other information. So it's like shopping, but just.
But do you need like the glasses, or it's just like through their website?
I think it's through their website.
Interesting. I'm curious.
But ever since that new, the Apple headset thing came out, I think that I don't know. It might flop. It might, because it's kind of limited to what you can do right now.
I feel like a lot of those virtual worlds, but I mean, don't quote me on this, but I feel like they've been flopping. Like the metaverse. I don't think we're ready for it yet. No.
Like people are a little scared. That's why Bitcoin didn't stay as popular as it was, I think, and the metaverse and all that, like people buying up like fake land and stuff,
like the NFTs.
Some people are like, yes, let's go, and then other people are like, hold on,
no, it reminds me.
Why am I paying for?
What is that movie called with Harry Styles and Florence Pugh?
Oh yeah, Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, and then at the end, I don't know. Sorry for spoilers.
Like she wasn't even in that
yes.
world. Yeah.
I was really like, I was not expecting that, and then I don't know. It's just a little. I don't know. People really want that. I don't see it.
That movie freaked me out.
Yeah. No, it was good. I enjoyed it. But like now that I think about it, that's just kind of what like. But also he did that without, I feel like, her consent. She was like a doctor and everything, and he tricked her into it. And now it's just like she's trapped in there. I don't know. It's a mess. But
she signed her life away.
Yeah.
Another thing for like the future of AI, I think like data analytics. It's going to help. AI is going to help companies understand customers on a deeper level so they can deliver personalized content, which we kind of talked about already. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I think that, you know, in our field, it's like, this is what we do. You know, we kind of help people try to connect with audiences.
Well, I mean, kind of going back to, so I kind of use this software called, or it's not necessarily like a downloadable software, but it's just like a plugin that I use. It's called like Opteo. And it kind of allows me weekly to kind of use that data that's collected over the course of the week to kind of like optimize different accounts. And actually that's been really insightful because it kind of gives you like different options and ideas on like, if you took this avenue, this would kind of be the outcome. If you take this if you take this avenue, it would kind of do something else. And I think like it's been really beneficial to really kind of maximize the optimization for the client.
That's
and
really interesting.
I actually really like it. It's nothing extreme like chat GPT or anything like that, but it's kind of a little bit more like it works alongside you and with you. And I kind of like to see where things are kind of populating up, what's been effective, what's not been effective. And I kind of really like that. It's very simple to use and it's very user friendly, and I think I really like that. And that's been really helpful. And actually I do use a little bit of AI every day, surprisingly enough.
I think most of us do.
Yeah. But at least for like, sometimes I just, you know, especially with copy, I use Cobalt. Do you use Cobalt?
Cobalt, yeah,
I really like
it's
Cobalt
like a plugin that helps you write.
Yeah, it's really nice because sometimes I'm like, okay, this is what I want to say, but like, can we make it a little bit nicer? Can you give me like diverse vocabulary? Just make it like sound, just give it like nice, you know, add that little sparkle and that pizzazz and that what I'm looking for. So, I definitely, that's been like one of my best friends in terms of like, pretty much not always, but like a weekly use. And it's been really nice. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying with, you know, is that going to affect jobs in the future? I don't really think so.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I think if it does, it'll take a really long time because you still need a person there to kind of direct the technology.
Definitely.
You need a person there to tell the technology what to search, how to search it. Like, you need somebody who knows how to use like that technology, like how to use a search, like, you know, because you can't just be anybody and just put in blah 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 and get exactly what you want. It takes a little bit of like tweaking to it from what I've heard. So for sure. I think for now, especially in the design space, I mean, everybody talks about, you know, oh, you can just ask it to make you a logo and it'll just make you a logo. It's like, yeah, but do you know if it's going to be effective? Like, do you know your audience well enough? Do you know the strategy behind it? Like, and it
also makes me think how do you provide, I mean, our clients give us feedback whenever we do something. Exactly. So how do you give that to AI? I don't know. Like, how do you be like, oh no, change this here, I don't like this. Like, is that even possible?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It might be in the future, but I think for now, it's just something that's things evolving. Might change a little bit. But if anything, I think that these tools are going to be useful for people in fields like ours. Like, we're going to be the ones using them first. Yeah. Because businesses, they need help with that stuff. They don't really know yet how to get there. So we're going to see, you know, where we can use it to help what we're doing, to supplement. That was all I had. So that was a good talk. And we'll probably do this more often and just have like little That's good. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social at energyhill, and we will see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.